Imagine this. Kofi and Priya work on the same team. They have the same manager, they're working on the same project. And if you asked their co-workers who was more capable, most people would probably struggle to choose. Both are competent, both work hard, both know what they're doing. On a busy Thursday afternoon, their manager sends a message. I need a project update before the end of the day. Nothing unusual. Kofi opens ChatGPT. Priya opens ChatGPT. Both ask AI to help write a professional update email. A few minutes later, both emails are sent. The next morning, Kofi opens his inbox. His manager has replied, one word. Thanks. That's it. No follow-up, no questions, no discussion, no indication that the email changed anything. Meanwhile, Priya receives a different response. Her manager replies with several questions about the project and asks if she's available to discuss the next phase later that week. Now, if you've ever been in a workplace, you know that feeling. The feeling of watching someone with similar skills get more visibility, more trust, more opportunities, and wondering, what exactly are they doing differently? Because here's the thing, Kofi wasn't less capable. His English wasn't worse. His email wasn't unprofessional. The difference was something far more subtle, something most professionals never learn. Because AI can write an email, but it cannot automatically make people trust your judgment. And when promotions, opportunities, and responsibilities are handed out, that's often what people are really evaluating. Not your grammar, not your vocabulary, your judgment. So today, let's talk about the difference between an AI email and a promotion-worthy email. Because they're not the same thing, not even close. The trap most professionals are falling into. AI has made it incredibly easy to write emails. Need a project update? Ask AI. Need a follow-up? Ask AI. Need to sound professional? Ask AI. And honestly, that's fine. Any successful professionals use AI. The problem isn't using AI. The problem is believing that professional writing and professional thinking are the same thing. They're not. Think about the last time you received a generic corporate email. You probably read it, understood it, and forgot it 5 minutes later. Not because it was bad, because it felt like it could have been written by anyone. That's exactly what's happening to many workplace emails today. They're becoming polished but interchangeable, professional but forgettable. And that's dangerous because being forgettable is the last thing you want in your career. What happened inside Kofi's email? Let's look at the email Kofi sent. Remember, this wasn't a bad email. In fact, if most professionals saw it, they would probably describe it as clear, polite, and professional. Part of his email said, "The client meeting has been moved to Tuesday." That's useful information. And technically, that's exactly what his manager asked for. An update. But here's where things get interesting. Imagine you're Kofi's manager. You open the email. You read, "The client meeting has been moved to Tuesday." And then you move on. Why? Because while Kofi told you what happened, he didn't tell you what the change means. Should you be concerned? Is this a setback? An advantage? Does it affect the project timeline? Does the team need to do anything differently? The update answered one question, what happened? But it left several more questions behind. And that's often the difference between an email that gets a quick thanks and an email that starts a meaningful conversation. The information arrived, but the meaning didn't. And that's where many capable professionals accidentally lose influence without realizing it. What Priya did differently. Priya faced the exact same situation, but she wrote, "The client meeting has been moved to Tuesday, which gives us additional time to address the feedback from last week's review before presenting our final recommendation." Notice what happened. She didn't simply communicate an event. She communicated significance. She answered the question that every busy manager silently asks, why should I care? The reality is that managers don't just want updates. They want clarity. They want context. They want someone who can connect facts to outcomes. And when someone consistently does that, people begin trusting their judgment. The moment managers start seeing you differently. A few weeks later, another challenge appears. The team's report is behind schedule. Kofi writes, "The report has not been completed." Again, nothing wrong with it. It's accurate, it's honest, it's professional, but it creates a problem. The moment the manager reads that sentence, a question appears. Now what? The burden of figuring out the next step lands on their desk. Priya's version looks different. "We are finalizing the report and expect delivery by 3 p.m. today. The remaining revisions are limited to the executive summary." Same situation, but completely different experience. One creates uncertainty, the other creates confidence. And confidence is one of the most valuable things you can create through communication. Think about the people you trust most at work. Usually it's not because they're perfect. It's because when problems appear, they help everyone stay calm. That's exactly what promotion-worthy communication does. The sentence that quietly changes everything. Now let's talk about something almost everyone does, including very smart professionals, the ending. Many emails end like this. Let me know your thoughts. Or, please advice. Or, looking forward to hearing from you. These phrases aren't terrible, but they often create friction because they leave the next step undefined. The project pauses. The decision pauses. Everything waits. Now imagine Priya ends her email differently. If there are no objections, I'll proceed with the revised proposal tomorrow morning. Read that again. Notice how much work that sentence does. It creates momentum. It reduces uncertainty. It respects the reader's time. Most importantly, it communicates something powerful: ownership. The professionals who rise fastest inside organizations are often the people who reduce mental workload for everyone around them. This is one of the ways they do it, the hidden shift that changes everything. Many people think authority comes from using bigger words, or sounding more formal, or having perfect English. In reality, authority usually comes from something much simpler: making things easier to understand, making decisions easier to make, and making next steps easier to see. That's why some professionals become trusted advisors, while others remain information providers. They're not necessarily smarter. They're simply making life easier for the people they work with. And people value that enormously. The framework behind promotion-worthy emails. Whenever you write an important email, ask yourself 3 questions. What is happening? Why does it matter? What should happen next? If your email answers only the first question, you're sharing information. If it answers the second question, you're providing insight. If it answers all 3, you're demonstrating leadership. That's the difference. Not grammar, not vocabulary, not AI. Leadership. The truth about AI. AI is not replacing professional communication. It's raising the standard. Because when everyone can produce polished writing stops being impressive. What stands out now is clarity, judgment, ownership, direction. The very things AI cannot provide for you, those still come from your thinking. And that's good news, because it means the people who develop those skills will become even more valuable, not less. Oh, before I forget, if you want a practical shortcut, I've put together a free resource called the Own It Email Vault. Inside are 12 real workplace email situations that professionals face every week. For each situation, you'll see 2 versions side by side: the email that sounds professional and the email that sounds promotion-worthy, along with a simple explanation of the difference. So the next time you're writing an important email to a manager, colleague, client, or leadership team, you'll have proven examples you can use immediately. You can download it for free using the link in the pinned comment and description. So remember, the real goal is not to write emails that sound impressive. It's to become the person people trust when something important is at stake, because every email is doing 2 jobs at the same time. The first job is obvious. It delivers information. The second job is invisible. It shapes how people perceive you. Every update, every request, every response, they're all quietly answering the same question: what would it be like to rely on this person for something bigger? And over time, your career becomes the sum of those answers. The interesting thing is that email is only one place where professionals accidentally undermine their credibility. There is another communication habit that affects how competent, confident, and capable people think you are. Most people don't notice it. Most people never fix it. But once you see it, you'll start spotting it everywhere. And you may begin looking at workplace communication very differently. And if you found this useful, make sure you're subscribed, because we're only getting started. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.